I've been going back and forth in my head. Should we impeach Biden? Should we not impeach Biden? And when you start thinking about politics and analyzing politics and you want to be strategic about politics, you tend to believe as a conservative or a Republican, maybe it's not a good idea to impeach Biden because you don't want a lot of emotion to be tied to or connected to Joe Biden in any type of way. You don't want people to get sympathetic towards Joe Biden in any type of way. But the more and more that I think about it, and I've argued for impeachment before, but I almost talked myself out of it, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a human being too, right? I have the ebb and flows of emotion as well, and then I have to get grounded and I have to go to God and say, all right, just help me clear my mind. Let me just think this thing through here. What needs to happen? Guys, I am convinced more than ever that Joe Biden needs to be impeached. I know that we're in the middle, if you will, of an election cycle, but in an election cycle that the left doesn't intend to allow to occur. We've got some audio clips that I want to play for you shortly here. But what we're witnessing with President Trump is just unprecedented. You already know that. I'm not going to treat you like some type of idiot, like some type of clown, but I'm going to tell you the real deal. I'm going to tell you stuff that I'm not sure that you're hearing on a lot of talk radio, but you're going to hear it today on the Officer Tatum show. So make sure you tell somebody because I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to tell you exactly what the left is trying to do. I was under the impression, and I must admit, I got to confess, I'm not 100% right all the time. We can read all the data. We can read all the columns and the opinion pieces and headlines and so on, etc. And sometimes you get it wrong. Now, here's what I mean by that. I told you that Gavin Newsom was going to be end up running for the presidency. And frankly, I don't know that I'm completely wrong on that, but I will say this. As long as President Trump is going through these indictments, that is a clear indicator to me that Joe Biden intends to run. Now, that isn't to say that Joe Biden isn't going to collapse or, he's going to have to resign because his poll numbers continue to tank and it's going to get worse and worse and worse, where the Democrat Party may have to kick him to the side. I've offered you plans before of how Gavin Newsom can literally come in and Joe Biden can hand over the delegations. I don't believe it's going to be Kamala Harris simply because I think she's a complete and utter disaster. And I think that Democrats understand that she could be beat no matter what happens. But let me tell you what they're trying to do with President Trump, and more so what they're trying to do with you. I want you to understand the absolute evil that you're dealing with. All right, first and foremost. And I think we know that. I mean, I don't say that haphazardly. I don't say that to be provocative or to be hyperbolic. I'm telling you that the Democrat Party as it exists today, and I'm talking about the leadership. I'm not necessarily talking about your neighbor. They are the epitome of evil. Guys, they want to jail you. They want to kill you. They'll pull a bullet through your head. They want to put you through re-education camps. This is what the left wants to do. They're willing to think about this, they're willing to put Trump in jail for fake crimes before he has an opportunity, were he to become the nominee, to jail them for real crimes. And we've got a Republican Party that has been doing a great job in building the case. And I'm going to reiterate some of the case. I'm going to go back into some of the Devin Archer stuff and the Joe Biden and Hunter Biden corruption, the Biden crime family, because I don't think it's a smart play to just talk Trump, despite what they're doing with him, because the real criminals reside at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, both Joe and Hunter Biden. And I do believe they both need to go to jail. I don't think it should happen. Well, I would like to see them in jail. Now, let me reel that back a little bit because I don't want that for a president, all right? I don't want to see what they're doing to Trump. I don't want to see it done to Biden. Carl, how can you say that? We want revenge. No, you don't want a third world country type revenge. That's not what you want. That's not what we want. But an impeachment? Yeah. I know there's a lot of people out there that are scared of impeachment. Guys, I'm going to tell you, like I've told you before, you have the left that are playing checkers, or we're playing checkers while they play chess. We are playing organized ball while they are straight up playing street ball and throwing elbows and freaking karate, karate and Muay Thai kicks right in the middle of the game to take our knees out. This is how the left is playing, and we're not playing the same game. And what we're worried about is we're worried about the politics. Carl, if we don't impeach this guy, then we're going to lose the election. Damn it, you're going to lose the country. You're going to lose the country. The only way to stop this onslaught right now is impeachment. That's it. That's it. That's the only tool that we have while we still have a country. It is impeachment. And I understand that Republicans are scared. And I understand that Republicans, well, let's strategize. We got to think about this. I mean, I don't know, Tom. We may lose the House. Damn it, you're going to lose the country. Make up your mind. Every single one of us should be on the phones. I am so sick and tired. I'm sorry. There's days where I come in and I'm like, I'm not even sure I want to be a Republican anymore. They are so freaking weak. They're so freaking weak. It's insane to me. We are going through not just a constitutional crisis, but a crisis that will totally upend our country. I want you to hear an audio clip. This is Alan Dershowitz talking about what the indictment boils down to. Let's go right to this. Audio clip number 1, por favor, Sean.
In the indictment, they acknowledge that there are these freedoms, but then they claim that this is the key point, that Donald Trump actually believed that he lost the election, that everything he did was fraudulent, that he conspired with unnamed lawyers mostly to affect the election. Now, you're allowed to challenge elections. Indeed, the best way to challenge elections is to come up with a slate of alternate electives. That's what a court said in Hawaii in 1960. That's been the case throughout our history. So the government has the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that subjectively Donald Trump actually believed that he lost the election and acted contrary to that belief. Now, I've read the indictment very carefully. There is no smoking gun. There is no one who is credibly prepared to testify that Donald Trump said to him, I know personally I lost the election. There's a lot of evidence that people told him he lost the election, but you know Donald Trump, and you know that he's going to make up his own mind. And they're going to have a very hard time proving that. Now, it's the District of Columbia. 90-some-odd% of the jury pool will have voted against him, so they may actually get a conviction from a D.C. jury. But will it survive appellate review and review to the Supreme Court? I do not think so.
All right. So that was Alan Dershowitz. We'll have more to play for you in a little bit. But I just want you to understand that this is total BS, this case, as Ben Shapiro wrote a fabulous column, which I'll get into shortly. But what they're telling you is that free speech is no longer an option. This is far beyond Trump. And what we see, I'm not sure what's going on with the Republican Party. I seriously do not know. Yes, I appreciate the investigations. They are bringing a lot of material out. And again, we'll dive into some of the Biden corruption. I think it's really important to have a review so that we understand who the real criminals are. That is totally important. That is something we should do. But it is time to impeach. Guys, I get it. I get it. I know we have to listen. As it stands right now, I want you to understand something that I guarantee you have not heard on radio. I want you to think about a few states: Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. How do I know that Biden is still running for president and intends to run in 2024? It is the persecution of Donald Trump. And here's what they intend to do, because I think other people are scared to say it. So I'll say it here on the Officer Tatum Show. They do want to put this guy in jail. They do want to convict him. You know why? Because if they convict him, you got Katie Hobbs in Arizona, you got the Pennsylvania governor, you got Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, you got the guy Evers in Wisconsin. What they'll try to do is take Trump off of the ballot in some of these swing states, and he will be unelectable. That's the game. Nobody else will say it. I just did.